to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob, and the lights are on.
Oh, yes, they are. Yeah, and there's Devin, who's always on our YouTube videos, by the way. Yay, I got you live. Appreciate you on there, man. I do see all the comments. Like I said, we do appreciate it there. And everybody who comments on our YouTube videos, guys, we do try to respond to literally every single one. I'm a little backtracked right now because I've been unfortunately dealing with some hoopla, we'll call it, in life in general right now. It's probably the best way to word it right now. I don't want to get you guys down with all the hoopla, but like I said, do appreciate everybody that's been on, sharing, liking, subscribing, watching, following, commenting, whatever you're doing. Any bit you guys do to help us out, we definitely appreciate that. As I just noticed, my headphones are all like lopsided and weird looking here. I have uneven headphone syndrome.
Oh, geez. We can't take it anywhere.
There we go. This is why we can't have nice things. It's because of me. So, but yeah, we got a bunch of Giants news here to go over with you guys. And of course, it's that time of the year that we're going to start talking about training camp. It's that time. So
it is that time. All right.
The rookies reported on Tuesday here, guys. So, nothing much to report yet because, always is that way the first couple of days is kind of getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
A little meet and greet, if you will.
Exactly. If anybody happened to pick up on the song reference, kudos to you. But we got to start off with Theo Johnson here, who was kind of a little surprisingly starting out of the pup there. And no, we don't mean a puppy. He's starting on the physically unable to perform list.
Are we getting puppies?
No, we're not getting puppies. Can't have too many puppies as it is. I got 3 in my house. I can't deal with more, guys. I can't deal with 3 is enough. But yeah, so again, he's started out at the pup list there. This is a little comment here from Art Stapleton on the X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays here. He says, Giants have placed tight end Theo Johnson on the active/pup, inactive, I said active, but I think it means inactive, /pup list to begin camp. Rookies reported today. Since Johnson was placed on pup and not NFI, non-football injury, whatever is sidelining him happened on site, whether that's pre-existing or today. Don't panic just yet. Can come off at any time. And he says, I'm told Giants rookie tight end Theo Johnson is dealing with a hip flexor, and the hope is that this won't be a long-term issue per source. That's why he landed on the active pup today. So yeah, no word really on how he got injured. It's been kind of kept in the dark for us all there. So nobody expected it at all. And all of a sudden, Tuesday he just pops up on that list there. Now, for those who may not be aware of what a hip flexor injury is, luckily for y'all, Rob and I went on to WebMD and became doctors overnight. No, it wasn't a WebMD. It was just we just Googled it in general. So basically, the hip flexor is the injury to the muscles where the thigh meets the hip. So like where the thigh bones connect to the hip bone, not where the hip bones connect to the vertebrae. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what whatever is connected. But yeah, so there's like 3 or 4, I think, in muscles all together that kind of move that connectors there. And Liddy, think about it. Anytime you shift, you move your leg, any of that stuff, you're using one of those muscles.
Anytime you walk, anytime you sit, you're using that muscle. It's a very common sports injury, especially if you have lower back. Anytime you dance.
Anytime you do coitus.
No, but
depends
a lot of times, like if you have lower back issues, your hip flexors are too tight and it's pulling your back forward. So a lot of physical therapy is dealt around hip flexors.
Oh yeah, I mean, being an old guy myself, I have back injuries all the time, and whenever I do, it's really my hip that's out. It's actually off to the right. It gets out of line, so to speak, there, and it just messes everything up there. So, as far as the typical recovery time, this is straight from the American Hip Institute, and no, it means the hip is the body part. It's not the Hip Square Institute. Yeah, exactly. They said it typically requires 1 to 3 weeks of rest and treatment to recover from mild conditions fully. On the other hand, more severe cases can take about 4 to 6 weeks or longer. In addition, injuries that did not receive immediate treatment may take months to recover fully or may also cause chronic pain. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that the Giants didn't just ignore an injury. That's not usually typically what NFL teams do, unless you're the Cleveland Browns. But oh, well, who is it? What was the Cleveland Browns? Was the Tampa Bay Bucks that got in trouble for injury issues? One of the teams got. I remember a couple of years ago got it kind of, in trouble for telling players to kind of just walk it off. I have to look it up.
I feel like that's Baltimore. That's like a Baltimore move.
Baltimore
the Browns.
We won't say who.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Oh, no, that's it. Tampa's the one who got like a bacterial infection that went around the players.
Yeah.
How dirty their place was. Dirty Tampa. It's okay. I can say it. But yeah, so you got to think that it's going to be the 1 to 3 weeks or the 4 weeks to 6 weeks kind of variety. The problem we run into is we don't know when this happened. Now, what's interesting is what Art said, as far as he was placed on the PUP and not the NFI, so whatever siding him happened on site. So the question is, what on site, does that count like when you're doing a workout on the property in between these weeks, between the OTAs and the camp starting here? Is this meaning that it's an injury that happened during OTAs? We don't know. I don't want to speculate and say, oh, we see based on the way he walked this day or whatever, but it's one of those things where you look at what the possibilities are, and it's got to be one of those two. It's got to be either he hurt himself during the OTAs, which you didn't hear anything about, or he hurt himself doing workouts on site in between the OTAs and the training camp.
Yeah, the hip flexor is a weird thing because like you could get that, you could hurt it, I don't want to say pull it, but I guess you pull your hip flexor, but you could do that squatting. So he could just been doing it like a regular workout on premise, and it just felt tight, and he tried to walk it off, and a couple weeks later he's like,
walk it off.
Still tight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, that's the body in general. It's weird. You could do the stupidest, littlest thing sometimes and it just hurts. So, not usually at their age,
teeth.
But brush your teeth. My shoulder.
Brush your teeth. Yeah.
Pull a shoulder.
Brush your teeth, gag, and your back's thrown out.
But we'll see what happens with Theo. I mean, I think it's got to probably be that scenario where he hurt himself working out. And if that's the case, at least he was working out and trying to keep himself in shape in between the two. It wasn't just, going to Mexico and falling off an ATV or anything. So I'll give him the credit for that.
Yeah.
If that's what happened. It's something that is usually fixable, heals up, no problem. The Giants are obviously going to be proactive because they don't care as much as him being active during the training camp as they do him being active during the regular season. So, they're going to do right by him, right by us as a result as well. And, it doesn't sound like it should be something that lingers on throughout the year. They just want him fully healthy before they bring him back, so it doesn't linger on throughout the year there. So
correct.
Exactly. So, who didn't start on the PUP, though? It's Daniel Jones. Look how shocked he looks. I have to break out this picture of him every so often. I'll bug eyed. I can't help myself. It is the picture for Daniel Jones. Like anytime he does something good, bad, indifferent, he looks shocked. That's the picture we're using. This is coming right from Ian Rappaport. Of course, Rapp works for the NFL Media. Says, from the insiders on NFL Network, Giants quarterback Daniel Jones is not expected to begin training camp on the PUP list, an indication of how positive the ACL rehab has gone. And listen, love him or hate him, whatever, be indifferent, I think you guys got to realize Daniel Jones has been working his tail off to get back from this ACL injury. Like, this is a crazy quick turnaround to start 100% on camp, no problem. And to be able to go ahead and play like that, that's a little crazy. You're talking an ACL surgery. I think you had December? I think you had the surgery.
Something like that, yeah.
So you're talking 8 months. Like you got to expect that in that scenario that people aren't going to be coming back fully healthy. And don't get me wrong, I do think they'll probably be very careful with him, especially in the beginning of training camp there. I think that red jersey is going to come in handy to make sure it doesn't get hit at all or even touched in any way, shape, or form there. But it's just good to see him out there because love him or hate him, guys. Like I said it before, I'll say it again. He is our best option to win right now.
100%.
Doesn't matter if you like him as your quarterback or not. He is your quarterback. Root for the man because, again, love him or hate him, the guy works his tail off for us. I don't think he's the long-term answer myself, but he's the current answer. He's the best answer we have right now. And he does work his tail off. He is, by all accounts, a good guy. Teammates seem to really like and respect him. So, let's root for him in the meantime. Be a real Giant fan and root for him because if you're rooting against this man, go with Saquon.
You're rooting against the Giants.
Yeah, go with Saquon to Philly.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it just like that. Point blank. So, like
that's
I said,
a good segue.
Yeah. Oh,
let's cheering on this man. Ooh.
It's not really a good segue, because the next one we have is not a Philly pick at all.
Oh, no. I kind of was late to the party on that one. Womp.
But we're going to segue it, I guess, that way after all.
Yeah.
As we got to talk about the fact that Darius Slayton stands up for Daniel Jones. And I got to say, this is not the first time I've seen Slayton stand up for Daniel Jones.
No, he said multiple times on Twitter or X or whatever.
So I give the man credit because this is why you can see why he's been around the team for a little while there. He's very vocal about standing up for the quarterback there. The guy who throws in the ball, the guy who gets him all the yards. Again, the guy averages like 700 yards a season. He's not an all-star, Pro Bowl kind of guy there, but that's still an impressive, start to your career there. So as a reminder for those who may have missed out on the conversation we had last week about it, but I do suggest you go back to YouTube because we trashed this guy pretty good. Patrick Peterson said last week, I had an opportunity to play against Daniel Jones a couple of times. Ain't nothing impressive about him to a defense. He's big and strong, but he hasn't shown us arm talent, like crazy arm talent. He's shown an inability to read defenses quickly, to get the ball out quickly. And I just think he has a problem dissecting the 11 guys on defense. His process is too slow to excel as a great NFL quarterback. He has talent. He has all the measurables. It's just not coming together on the football field. So Darius Slayton goes on to the All Facts, No Breaks with Keyshawn Johnson, who that's a podcast he now runs. And he was asked about that and came right to the defense of Daniel Jones. And I think in kind of a respectful but somewhat throw it in your face kind of way. He said he's entitled to his opinion. Obviously played for a long time. I got a lot of respect for Patrick Peterson. But at the same time, we played the Vikings twice in a 4-week span, and we put up close to 30 both times. And in one game, they only won off a 63-yard field goal. It wasn't like we were being stopped. Then we played them again in the playoffs, and Jones set a playoff yardage record at the Vikings. Peterson was on the team at the time, so it's an interesting take. If it was maybe another team that we were maybe worse against, I would understand the take more. But it's an interesting take considering we saw them twice, and there wasn't a whole lot of us not scoring. I just found it odd that this take came from that source. Like I said, I think that was a pretty good walk the line of saying, stop talking about my damn quarterback.
Yeah.
While also at the same point, say, hey, I got respect for this guy. He's playing the league, and he has. Like, you should have respect for him, an NFL player there. But you can still say he's a damn fool for saying what he said.
100%. So he did teeter the line pretty well. Like, it's like, hey, like,
yeah,
it's my quarterback. You've been in the league a long time, but we scored against you a lot.
Yeah. Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And Patrick Peterson hasn't seen Daniel Jones since. So it's not like it's like, oh, that was like 10 times ago. Like, like if we like lit up, like, let's say, the Commanders and then get beat by them 5 times in a row. Well, yeah, the Commanders can talk a little trash now. But this is a guy who hasn't seen Daniel Jones since that playoff loss where, again, like he said, he set a playoff yardage record. It's a Giants playoff yardage record. I should clarify in case you're like, was it that good? It's the Giants one, but still, you still set a team record. That's still impressive. You're still in the record books for the team. And you did it with like horrible receivers. No offense to the guys that are still that are, but I don't think, Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins are the Pro Bowlers that people thought they might have been at one point.
They were hoping.
That was not a long-term answer. That was the best option available right now, like Daniel Jones is right now. So, that's where we're at there. So again, kudos to Darius Slayton. I thought he handled himself very well. As far as sticking up for his quarterback, while also not being a complete jerk about it, which, quite frankly, I might have been if I was his juice. I would get in trouble. I'd be that guy. Let's go to Joe Shane and Brian Dable's office. It's like my weekly thing. So,
Womp womp.
Speaking of Joe Shane, guess what? Joe Shane said he doesn't talk to listen to talk radio and all this stuff. Apparently, he is influenced by the mock drafts going around. This is from the Hard Knocks podcast, which I openly admit I do not listen to, just because of the fact that it'll put me in the loop of all the Hard Knocks podcasts there, and I don't want to be in all the podcasts of Hard Knocks. I'll care about the Giants one, but I'm probably not going to watch the rest of them. And if I do, I'm sure as hell not going to listen to the podcast afterwards. I don't even know what's going on with the AFC North or the Chicago Bears or whatever the hell they're got going on this year. I'm here for the Giants. That's what I'm here for. But here's what he said. He said about the mock drafts. He said, we look at them because guys like you, and I should say, Peter Schrager was who was interviewing at the time. So when he says guys like you, that's what he means, are accurate, and you have contacts around the league. We obviously have an analytics department, and they do. They will evaluate your mock drafts over the years. Who's the most accurate? Are you the most accurate in the top 10, top 5, top 10, 15? We do. We go through that stuff and look, and over time you see maybe Peter Schrager is tied in. He does well in these mock drafts. So we're paying a little bit more attention to Peter Schrager than maybe somebody else. And that's legit. We do look at that. So I thought that was kind of interesting because that, what that tells me? Tells me maybe Joe Shane listens to our podcast. We do mock drafts.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Score. Yes.
I doubt we're on the list.
No.
But it's nice to think we might be. But I think it's kind of interesting because, you don't think of it necessarily from that aspect. Like, I always thought of it like, I doubt these guys actually look at these things at all. Like, who would think that an NFL GM would look at, mock drafts? Guys that are basically guessing on who's going to take who, it's kind of interesting because these guys are not right very much. Let's be very frank about it. We're not right very much either. It's impossible to tell who's going to pick somebody in 32 picks at that point, let alone the guys even do like second and third round mocks. Some guys do. Like that's pretty difficult to pull off. If you pull that off, kudos to you at that point. If you got even half the picks right, I mean, who would have said, oh, they're going to have, every quarterback possible picked in the first 10. It's like you would never
know that coming.
Yeah, you have never seen that stuff coming. We all had, guys like, Penix going later on. We thought that, Bo Nix would go second round even. I mean, and notice all that kind of stuff coming. So it's impossible. But like I said, it's nice to think that if we continue this long enough and we have a good track record, Joe Shane might be listening.
You're welcome on, bud.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Come on.
Yeah, man, you want to do it. Speaking of Shane, he got a little slack last week. Remember we talked about this, that he got basically called an idiot by Philadelphia DJ Howard Eskin, who has his own issues and probably shouldn't talk about other people. We talked about that. Again, if you missed that segment there, go ahead and pop onto our channel on YouTube. We have a nice little quick segment on that one. Actually, the funny thing is when I was Googling it, and I don't know if anybody else would have pop up or this is my thing specifically, but I couldn't remember Howard Eskin's name for a second. I was like, it's like Howard something. So I just Googled Philly DJ bashes Shane, and we popped up very first on the videos in there. So
Score.
Yes, so maybe that helps people find us there if that's the case. But yeah, so again, last week he bashed him for showing phone conversations on Hard Knocks between Shane and Saquon Barkley, which I thought was interesting for a lot of respects because, again, Howard Eskin's got his own issues and shouldn't be talking about trash about anybody. Joe Shane was on the phone with him. Hard Knocks is the one who decided to show it, so why would you bash the guy who wasn't necessarily in control of that kind of stuff? And third, we said point blank, you think Saquon doesn't know he's being recorded? I find it hard to believe that Saquon would not know that. And it's been validated, what we said. Paul Schwartz of the New York Post wrote an article about it. He said, Saquon and his agent Ed Berry knew that their private phone conversations with Giants general manager Joe Shane might be used at some point in Hard Knocks. He then went even further on Twitter, or X, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays, and said, Panthers Dan Morgan and Patriots Elliott Wolf were also alerted that private conversations with Joe Shane could wind up on Hard Knocks. Like I said, guys, they're not going to post random conversations like a gotcha moment, like, whoop, 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 guess what? Whoop, whoop, you're going to be at Hard Knocks now. Bet you
Imagine Dave Chappelle, gotcha.
Yep. But it's like, I'm flustered with the fact that a guy who is supposed to be a legitimate sports analysis that works for the Eagles directly, even doing their radio programming and stuff like that, doesn't realize that they would freaking know they're on a recorded line like that. Doesn't
or
know
he knew.
Yeah.
Or he knew and just went on like this,
I prefer
story.
Here's a crazy thing. That's the scenario. Either he's the idiot for not realizing that,
or thinks that all of us are idiots,
or he's or he's posting BS and thinks that we're all idiots. And listen, we said it immediately when he said that, and we talked about it. So if the goofballs can figure it out, I like to think everybody else can as well,
because we are goofballs.
We are. We're not the brightest bulbs in the sun. We don't try.
We're giant goofballs.
We get by on our dashing good looks.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But yeah, like I said, good to know that we're validating what we thought at that point. I didn't want to say it flat out because we don't know, but I said I'd find it hard to believe, I think is the exact wording we use at that point. And yeah, sure enough, they knew. So stop complaining. I think Howard Eskin should give an apology to Joe Shane. It also sounds like based on what's going on in his life, he should probably give an apology to other people and maybe work in concession stands. But yeah, I doubt he'll get one. You know, doesn't strike me as the guy who would apologize for something like that, even though he was clearly stupid and said things he shouldn't have said and did things he should have done, perhaps. But yeah, just shows integrity and character if you can. Just saying. Calling you out, Howie. Calling you out, Howie. Another interesting thing about Hard Knocks, though, and this was kind of rumored, but I saw a tweet that to me solidifies that it was definitely what was done. If you notice, during conversations between Brian Dable and Joe Shane, they started playing Beyonce's Texas Hold'em song, which, by the way, I don't know about you guys. I didn't even know that was the name of the song. I knew the song, and it's a catchy song, whatever, but I had no clue that's what it was called. I don't listen to Beyonce. I don't listen to new music that much. I'm old. I have my stuff from 20 years ago I enjoy. That's what I stick to.
I still listen to Iron Maiden.
Oh, I will always listen to Iron Maiden to the day I die, okay? Listen, Fear of the Dark is an amazing
I was just listening to Fear of the Dark.
I love that. I love that. Or the intro to Number of the Beast. Spectacular.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went from Beyonce to Iron Maiden here. We're probably the only podcast in America that can do that, guys. Remember that. but yeah, like I said, I didn't know that was the name of the song, but it's funny that Big Blue VCR, and if you don't follow him on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, follow him. He's a really good profile to watch there. What he does is he literally had boxes and boxes of old taped copies of Giants games, and he cuts them all into clips and pops them onto Twitter at that point there. And it's usually like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday. Here's this. Or, hey, on this date this many years ago, this is what happened. And it's fun. It's entertaining. And if you like Giants history, it's fun. If you're maybe a younger Giant fan, it's a good way to learn, the history of the team there overall, because it's got a very rich history. Not necessarily a very rich present, but it's got a rich history. So, enjoy watching the things that we grew up with. But this is the tweet he gave out. He said, at the Giants 100 event at MSG, Dave said they played music in the office trying to see if a copyright issue would force HBO to edit out footage. In talking free agents, it looks like they made HBO open the checkbook to license the Beyonce song, and they fit it into the edit. And what's interesting, if you watch the episode, if you haven't watched it, it's a fun show if you're as a Giant fan there. But they went ahead and, kind of used that throughout the entire episode. It became like a whole Texas Hold'em poker thing going on throughout the whole thing, where they're showing the players on playing cards and all this stuff. And that just tells you they definitely had to fork out money for that. They're like, sure, if we're going to pay for this, we're going to put in the whole goddamn show. Deal.
I was about to say 100%. They literally took that and like, oh, yeah, let's go. Pay up the money. And then HBO went, all right, well, I guess we bought the rights for this episode to use this song, and let's make it generated Texas Hold'em table.
Let's earn this money as best as we can. But,
Yeah.
it makes you go, what did they not want to show you that was in that segment? So, there wasn't anything I thought they said that was that crazy. I really don't think so. I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't think there was nothing else like, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. Like, I know some guys were like on Twitter after the show going, oh boy, they really did show some good stuff. Again, they showed some good stuff. If you're a diehard Giants fan, you saw some things you may not have known. Like, nobody really knew about the interest they had in Robert Hunt. People may not have realized that Gardner Minshew was actually talked about as an option for the Giants. Things like that. Yeah, things like that you may not have picked up, ahead of time. There were kind of some new news there, so to speak. Or the fact that we paid a little more than we wanted to for John Runyon and Jermaine Illuminor. Like, all this stuff was interesting and fun to watch at that point there. But there's nothing else like, oh my God, they just say that? They just kind of bash this guy or whatever. Like, there was nothing about that. The only player that can be a little upset at how he came out in this whole thing would be Saquon Barkley. I don't think anybody else. And even Saquon, like, it is what it is. Let's be honest here. Neither side wanted to be with each other anymore. It was more like both sides wanted to look like they weren't the ones to break it off.
It's like going through a bad breakup and no one wants to look like the jerk.
Yeah, it's exactly.
But it's over.
Exactly what it was. It was like, we need to keep the circle of friends. I want to be the one who keeps friends in the divorce. Like, that's what it was like. Like, neither one of them wanted to be the hated guy, but that's life. In the end, neither one should be a hated guy, in my opinion. Joe Shane made the move that, we can't afford to fix the line and do the stuff we want to do and pay top dollar for running back, which is a position we don't value. And, Saquon Barkley said, probably to himself, not maybe to the public, I'm 27 years old. This may be my last chance to get a big deal. I'm going to take everything I can.
Yeah, and
neither one's wrong.
Can't blame either one of them.
Yeah, take out the fandom for a second. I understand you're going to boo the hell out of Saquon Barkley, and you should. When he comes to MetLife Stadium and all, I get that 100%. But if you take out the fandom part, you can't blame either side. But that's the only guy. Like, nothing else was that crazy. They were saying that, like, we need to pump this music so nobody hears us say that. That I don't know who you want to say. Let's use Gardner Minshew is a jerk. Like, he
probably is a jerk with that stash.
Do you know Gardner Minshew used to hang out with Ron Jeremy? I don't know, like something crazy. Like, if they said something crazy, I would have understood it, but it was all normal stuff there. But it's funny. It's a funny tactic. Like, and I wonder if HBO kind of got a little pissed at them too. I'd be pissed if I was HBO. Like, you guys knew we're here recording, and you're gonna make me spend all this money to get access to a Beyonce song because you're afraid I was going to tell you, like, I was going to tell people who you thought was your top offensive lineman. Or, something like that. I mean, are you going to tick off Evan Neal perhaps because somebody said Jermaine Illuminor is going to be the right tackle on the team? Like, it's just a little crazy to me. A little crazy there. But, listen, competitive advantage. It just shows you that while we've said the Giants have had a lot of editing abilities in there, that they were concerned about what abilities they may or may not have. So, otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. Because they would have said, oh, let's edit the crap out. Who cares? Like, they didn't do that. So all right, let's pay the bills real quick and get through some comments here.
Drew, you're being really good at that.
Listen, if only I was that way in real life.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty, guys. Let's go through some comments here. So, feel bad. Devin, I saw said they're leaving. And I'm like, oh, no. Devin says, listening to you is like listening to my own family talk football. You all are the only pod that does this for me. Oh, I appreciate that. And it's funny because Rob and I actually are family as we're cousin-in-laws, too. Is that a term even? I don't know, cousin-in-laws?
I don't. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah. We're going to go with it. But yeah, so yeah, appreciate that. Definitely kind words there, though I also feel bad for you and your family.
You got to deal with two goofballs like us.
Seriously, this is what your family reunions like. I
Wonder what Thanksgiving's like.
Imagine you probably moved away by the states like I did. Deb, what's up? Deb says, is Pat Traina a good source for info? Not sure if she works for the Giants. So no, Pat is 100%. A great source of information for the Giants. She has been around forever. She's a little careful with her wording. I will say that to not tick off the Giants because she has access that not everybody has. But there's nothing wrong with that. She's not like kissing their butt. She's not.
No, she'll give it to you straight, but like you said, she dances around somewhere. She's like almost like your grandmother reporting on the Giants.
I want to go there because I don't want to make her feel old.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like your grandma's not gonna be like, oh, Evan Neal look like ass.
We have messaged back and forth, Pat, about coming on the show, so she does know who we are. So just in case she's listening, you didn't call you old.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like she's very polite the way she like talks.
Oh no, 100%.
Evan Neal didn't look. She didn't look her. Evan Neal didn't look his best today. Like he hasn't looked that good all year. But she's like the media equivalent of like the mother who goes, "I'm disappointed in you," not the one who gets mad at you. Like if she doesn't agree with something the Giants do, she won't say that's freaking stupid. Like some of us, including me and Rob, will say that. Partially because we don't care. We have no access to the Giants. We have nothing to lose. But she has that access, and she'll say, "Listen, I don't necessarily agree with it." Like she'll say it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what they're doing here. That kind of stuff. But yeah, overall, she's definitely good there. Devin says the Hi to Debs is great show you sponsor. Yes, of course, Deb is one of the people who have gone to buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. She says hi, Devin. Devin says, you guys are the most slept on Giants pod. And I got to say, I 100% agree. I agree.
What it is we really suck at marketing.
We forgot to pay our marketer.
Yeah. We really should get one of those probably before we start paying them.
Yeah.
And then it says, Drew, first you got to put your left out and then your left foot in. We're doing the hokey pokey and shake it all about. Yeah. Oh, there we go. And then it says, I once swatted a fly while sleeping and bulged a disc. EMT got me still in my smiley face box. That's the thing I would do.
When you put that up, I was dying.
Every single time I've hurt myself, it's been something really, really freaking stupid. Absolutely stupid.
I sneezed and blew out my back.
The first time I hurt my back really bad was sitting in a movie theater chair, one of those recliners, and it just my back didn't go in right instead of lining back up because apparently your vertebrae extends. I was told when that happens. That's what my my physical therapist said. But yeah, instead of going straight in, it went back in like crooked like that instead of going like that. So yeah, it was really bad. My knees have never been the same since my back. I still hurt every so often. Or I've like at work. I don't say where I work or what I do, but I do work in the automotive repair industry. I picked up a tire at work and it was standing up. It wasn't even like on the ground fully. It was like standing up, and I went to pick it up. And it wasn't even like a massive truck tire or something. And yeah, just threw my back right out. So yeah.
But you're also like a giant. So like going that far down, it's way different. It's like me trying to grab a hammer off the ground that's standing up.
I went back up and had a bloody nose. No, elevation changed and all. It's 6'7". Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Bobby Skinner and I are going to start a tall Giants content creators group. It's okay. He's like my height too. So
I knew he was a big guy. I didn't realize he was that tall.
Yeah, he's that tall. So we'll start a Giants tall content creators who live in Florida group. Even we'll go that far. We'll go that specific.
Justin I would be below the 6 foot club.
Yes, exactly. Devin says DJ's gonna have a career year, which means above average in the NFL, but I'll take it. Listen, I'm shooting for that myself, and I just can't imagine that DJ's year next year is me as bad as it was last year. I just can't.
It can't be. Yeah. Is this going to be as good as us going to the playoffs 2 years ago? I don't know.
Honestly,
I would love to. I want to see him have a career year. I do, but at the same time, I don't want that to give us false hope on what he is in the long term.
Yeah,
that's the only fear I have with that.
I really feel like this could be his best year he's had, even better than 22, because he has Malik Neighbors.
And he's got a way better line. The best line that the Giants have had probably in 5 years.
Got to cross our fingers when we say this stuff. We got to
Yeah.
cross our fingers. But yeah, it's like you look at what this line is, and you look at the Malik Neighbors edition. You look at the fact that he's got his best weapons around him. You know, it's definitely something you look back at and you go, you know what? This could be DJ's best year. Now, is it going to be good enough that you go, okay, maybe we should keep this guy? He's an MVP caliber guy. No, I'm not suggesting that. But if the guy can squeak out 3,000 yards and put up 25 touchdowns, I'm going to be happy. That's a reasonable expectation of him, I think.
I feel like 3,000 is not like he could definitely have more.
He could.
We'll
I'm trying to keep it realistic. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, you look at what he's done in his career. He did 3,000 twice. So it'd be one of his best seasons. 3,500 what I would like to see from him.
Exactly.
And that would be his best. But I'm also looking at it from the perspective of he's going to get injured probably for a couple of games as he does every year. It's, you know.
Almost every year.
I'm trying, except 22, but I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it realistic, guys, because it's just I don't think it's fair to put. And I say this with everybody. I don't think it's fair to put unrealistic expectations on players. Daniel Jones will not turn into Patrick Mahomes this year. He will not.
No.
I would love it. You know, I would absolutely love it. You know, but. And if he comes to the podium saying like Kermit the Frog, and be very excited about the possibilities, but it's probably it's probably not going to. Oh, he played for the Chiefs now.
Comes up, waka waka waka. With his crazy eyes.
That wasn't Kermit the Waka Waka Waka.
No, that was Fozzie or Fuzzy Bear.
Yes, Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, no, the next Muppet.
Yes, exactly. Sheesh, such a gonzo.
It's because I have a big nose.
I wasn't even going there. Wow, calling yourself out. But yeah, that's where we're at. Christopher Tony says, "Hey guys, what's up? Did the Vikings look good today?" You know, I got to be honest. There's nothing that I'm seeing anywhere really much info on the rookies and how they're looking. You know, usually the first couple of days with the rookies, though, it's mostly, you know, them doing film and stuff like that, as opposed to them doing crazy workouts and stuff, because there's just not that many of them to get them on the field. You know, especially as the training camp starts opening up to the public, that's when we're going to start seeing much more information as far as that kind of stuff there, or when the media is allowed to come in and stuff like that. You know, that's when we'll find out more. But again, it's the training camp. I'm not going to buy too much into it. We'll find out what kind of team this is in September and October. That's where it really boils down to. So Devin says something came up at work, gotta go. And I love the fact that people are watching us at work. We encourage people not to work well at work unless they work with me. As Jackie says, Giants fans. And you can tell by the picture that I may know her.
Wait,
hi, Lisa Murray. Lisa Murray says hello. All right. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? You know, it's funny. I said that when we were driving up to Georgia this week, and I looked over, and guess what town we were in?
What town were you in?
Adele, Georgia. There actually is an Adele.
Oh,
I was actually in Adele when I said that. It's funny. I was like, is this really Adele, Georgia? Like,
I don't know. There was an Adele, Georgia.
Yes, there is, apparently, and people often go hello from the other side. All right,
let's rolling in deep over there.
Oh god, there's a fire. Now her music, we can get it behind. They should have used that in Hard Knocks.
Hello.
Is it offensive line you're looking for?
100%.
It's been that way for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So we got a couple more bits of news here for you guys to go over. So Andrew Thomas always getting some love because he is, like I said it before, him and Dexter Lawrence, the best two Giants on this team. So when all the Eagles fans talk, we got your best offensive player. No, you didn't. Andrew Thomas is their best damn offensive player and proved it right here. Andrew Thomas was named to the top 50 NFL players in the league by PFF. Here's what they said. By the way, they ranked him 29 too. So they ranked him like mid. It wasn't like they like put him in like number 48 or something crazy like that. So they said the loss of Andrew Thomas to injury last year was a devastating blow to an already weak offensive line. Thomas ended up playing just 576 snaps, a little more than half of his 2022 total. He has elite pass blocking chops and had brought his running game to a similar level in 22 before injuries derailed him in 23. If Thomas bounces back and enjoys a healthy season while having some better players alongside of him, he is well worthy of this ranking. And I'm going to say this point blank. He's already worthy of this ranking because of the things they said. He was playing last year injured. He has his entire career played on a bad offensive line, guys. I cannot speak enough to the fact that Andrew Thomas has never played alongside a quality left guard on a consistent basis. Like there's been guys who have looked good at times, Ben Bredesen had his moments, obviously, with the Giants there. So I'm not trying to say he's played against poop forever, but he's never consistently had a guy that he plays next to, he feels comfortable with. He's got a rapport going with that he can go ahead and say, you know what, when this guy does this, he's going to do this next because I played alongside him long enough to know this. It felt like there were some years that he's literally had a different guy next to him every single game. And some years he legit has.
About
significant stretches of the season there. So, I don't think he gets enough credit. I really don't. And I think if you put him on almost any other team, he is a Pro Bowler, all pro, consistently year in, year out, the way he's been playing. So the only thing that ever does concern me is the injury, because he has had a few injuries there. Mostly nagging as opposed to, keeping him out for the season kind of stuff, obviously. That's the only knock you can give on him. And listen, if that's the knock, it's not a big knock. I will take a guy who plays at that kind of level and occasionally gets hurt.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Nobody's going to be perfect. There's going to be issues. Except for me. I'm perfect.
In your head.
Like, if I was a wrestler, they call me Mr. Perfect.
He was already around.
Nope, he was not. I looked it up. Definitely wasn't around.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not gold dust. I was reading a thing. I was watching a thing on TikTok, and apparently they were talking about how parents used to call up the WWE and complain about gold dust because it was wrong to have that in front of children. I'm like, oh gosh, I can only imagine all the Karens calling up about that. I thought this wrestler would be a good influence on my child.
With this gold dusted face. And
in general, you thought the guy doing steroids that's beating the crap out of somebody in a ring would be a good role model.
Or what about, who is it? Was it Doink the Clown? He's a good role model.
Dink the Clown.
Is it Dink or is it Doink? It was Doink.
Doink was the big one. Dink was the little version of him.
Oh, it's a midget, yeah.
The vertically challenged individual who played with him. All right, let's get into our last bit of news here. So we do have one more here for you guys.
Ooh.
And Phil Simms is finally going to the Hall of Fame. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, but he's going into a Hall of Fame either way. So
I think he's going to Disneyland.
he might as well. He's been there before. Maybe once at least. But yeah, so two former Giants are going to be inducted this year into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Quarterback Phil Simms and running back Ron Johnson. So Simms, obviously originally from Kentucky. If you can't tell by the way he talks, he's been up here for quite a while, but he's still got a little bit of Southern drawl to him. He's lived in New Jersey since 1979 when he was drafted by the New York Giants there. Ron Johnson was the first Giants running back to rush for over 1,000 yards. If some of you youngins may not know who he is. We did a whole thing on him. We talked about the top Giants running backs in history. So, again, pop on YouTube. It's all there. Shameless plug. But yeah, he's lived in New Jersey since 1970 when he was traded to the New York Giants there and lived in Jersey up until 2018 when he passed away. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony will air on Fox 5 for those of you guys that live in the New York area on November 13th. For those of us who do not, just look online. Somebody will probably be bootlegging it, or it'll be on social media, or who knows. It'll be somewhere, I'm sure. It always is.
Just follow your Jersey friends.
No one has TV anymore, so. Other
Jersey.
notable people. I thought this was kind of interesting. Other notable people. And listen, for those of y'all who are from Jersey, know people from Jersey, which I got to imagine most of y'all listening probably are in that ballpark there. As I say y'all, because I've lived down in Florida long enough. But it's like, for those who may know the movie Big Fat Greek Wedding, being from New Jersey, it's like that. So if you watch that, the father used to always say in that show, give me any word, and I will show you its word is Greek root. That's how Jersey people are. Like, you tell us any celebrity, we're going to tell you how they tie somehow into New Jersey. In like a 5-degree of Kevin Bacon sort of way, if we have to. Like, we will find a way to tie this person back to New Jersey. It's like a calling card for us people from Jersey. It's like we don't have much we're proud of. We're proud of pork roll and celebrities. That's about it. So, but here's the other guys and gals who are notable names that are inducted. And that's more. This is just the people that off the top of your head go, oh, okay, I know that. Meryl Streep, obviously amazing actress, potentially one of the best actresses of this generation, if not the best. Actor Paul Rudd, who's of course the greatest actor of this generation to play Ant-Man.
He was fantastic in Clueless.
He was fantastic in every Ant-Man except the last one because it was just that bad. Did you watch the last Ant-Man? Did you watch it yet? Finally,
I don't think it was that bad.
It is absolutely horrendous. I'm sorry, that CGI, the effects and everything.
It was definitely rushed.
Horrendous. Like, if it was any more horrendous, it'd be arrested for prostitution. Also, is founder and CEO of Jersey Mike's Subs, Peter Concro. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly there. But yeah, Jersey Mike's is funny because no one actually. It's like Italian people eating at Olive Garden. People from Jersey don't actually go to Jersey Mike's.
Not really, no.
No,
we don't. There's definitely plenty of Jersey Mike's in New Jersey where people go to.
No, and listen, there are people that go there, but it's usually New Yorkers coming down to the shore, because we all call it the beach if you're actually from the shore area. But
it's usually young kids, old people, or like businesses that want to get the big box.
And listen, even some Italian people, we go to Olive Garden because we like breadsticks. You're gonna give us unlimited breadsticks, we're gonna possibly go, but we're not gonna choose it for other things. It's kind of like going to Red Lobster for the cheddar biscuits. Anyway, singer-songwriter Leslie Gore, who I don't know who that is, but again, I only listened to music from 20 years ago. Olympic gold medal figure skater Dick Button. Former USMNT, which is the United States men's national team for soccer. Goalkeeper Tim Howard, who I remember him, he used to play out in England and all. And if those of you don't know soccer, if you play in England as opposed to the US, that means you're a pretty damn good player.
Yeah.
The MLS is where greats go to die, like Messi, and where young Americans play that can't quite hack it in Europe.
Or to get started, get recognized to go play in Europe.
I don't pretend to be an expert in soccer. I'm a football guy, not a football guy. But my understanding. Author Gay Talese, filmmaker Kevin Smith, who, again, if we're going to talk about people putting them back into New Jersey, Rob and I both grew up in the Kevin Smith Silent Bob era, as well as the Kevin Smith Silent Bob area. So therefore, yeah. My track coach in high school is brother-in-law. That's like that kind of area. I've seen them, both of those guys, walking around town before.
Pretty much.
Nobel Peace Prize mathematician John Forbes Nash. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, you're probably a fan of Russell Crowe, because he was the subject of the award-winning film A Beautiful Mind, which was a very good show, by the way. A very good movie, I thought. And when I was a single man many, many moons ago, I did actually use his theory at the bar. You don't go for the hottest girl, you go for the second hottest. Now, for the record, I did not meet my wife at a bar. In case people like, wait a minute, he just say that about his wife? No. I actually met her through this guy.
Sorry, Jackie.
All righty, guys. So yeah, that's gonna call it a night here for us, guys. We have another show obviously planned for you guys Monday. As always, we are live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. The nice thing is, guys, this has been the lull of the season. It's kind of like the 6 weeks or so in between the the OTAs and the training camp, and it's coming up. It's time, guys. We're gonna start doing some training camp episodes here soon, and we're just a few weeks away from football. This is the annual thing where we go, oh my God, there's going to be preseason football. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's still football. And then
after week 1, we're like,
yeah, exactly. Then we go, oh yeah, that's right. We hate preseason football for the most part. And we're literally 3 weeks today, 3 weeks from NFL football for us to watch with the New York Football Giants. It comes up that quickly. So, and at that point, obviously, we're gonna branch out into what to look for in those games. There, we're gonna have, we got the Lions, we got the Texans who play on my birthday. We have Giants and Texans on my birthday, so the Giants are playing in honor of my birth. And then we got the Jets here. We got joint practices. We got all kinds of stuff coming up here, guys. So if you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the share button, tell a friend, because as we've been told, I'm not saying we are the ones who say it, but it's been told that we are the most slept on Giants pod.
That's what the rumor has.
We're gonna copy and paste this comment for Devin each episode. So if you guys haven't already, like I said, if you could hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share, hit that follow, like I said, it's helped tremendously to get everything spread out to people, since we're so bad at marketing apparently. So
yeah.
Appreciate you guys listening in as always. If you like I said, if you like what you have, we'll hopefully see you again Monday there on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we are live on YouTube, Facebook. We're not on Twitter/X right now because they want to start paying to start streaming on that again. So we'll probably have to bite that bullet and start paying for that. Another bill for us. Another good time to mention buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
And that, like the Buffalo Bills, like, just make sure our content gets out there.
Yeah, so. that one tried to get us, but it was wide right. So, and as always, we are available the next day on all the audio. Oh yeah, my LinkedIn profile. I almost forgot my LinkedIn. Oh, look, Rob's like falling off the screen because he loves talking about my LinkedIn profile so much. And then of course we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms. That's of course the big ones there: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. Pretty much if you name it, we're probably on it. And if we're not on it, that's the wrong podcast platform for you. So you should change platforms immediately, or download all of them and hit subscribe on all of them if you'd like to. That'd be
fantastic.
So again, appreciate you guys for listening in. And as always, Giant fans. Actually, no, hold on. We almost forgot. We got a couple more comments here. Hold on before we go. Deb says, Meryl Streep, one of my favorite New Jersey people. Listen, Meryl Streep, by all accounts, is the nicest woman in the world. And she's just an amazing actress. She's just 100%. Really is. I think if I ask my wife, and she's not here in the room with me, obviously, but I think that's her favorite actress, actually, because she just loves the stuff she does. And she plays a weird, like, array of people, and she plays it all well.
Yes.
Deb says also the Travoltas, if I remember right, are from New Jersey. Yes, they are. That they live in Florida now. They used to live in Clearwater to be close to the Scientology headquarters, but they don't now. And he's somewhere in like Central Florida, if I remember correctly. And he actually has a runway for his private jet right in his backyard.
Nice.
Yeah, that's insane. And she says, let's not forget the Sopranos. But they're not real people, the Sopranos. You know how I know that? Because Rob is a Soprano. Remember, Rob was on the show.
Well, I wasn't playing a Soprano. I was playing a guy by a Soprano. But I'm more of
Sopranos are by Sopranos.
Though, if we're singing, I'm a Soprano.
We're definitely not a Soprano. I think it's safe to say neither one of us are Sopranos. John says, so Saquon is a liar. Shane asked Price and he'll be a Giant agent, said yes, and they changed it on Shane. So don't say we didn't offer you a new deal, Saquon. Okay.
John, watch last night.
Yeah, watch last night, John. But in the end, he gave him a hypothetical. If we offer, and this is a sales tactic, John. This is like if we offered you this, would this happen kind of scenario? And it's not really getting an offer. It's saying, if we did this, we're not doing it. But if we did, it's kind of putting the feeler out for where people are. In the end, like we said earlier in this show, even, neither party wanted to be together anymore. I think we need to stop trying to play the blame on Shane or the blame on Saquon. Neither one wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So they're not there anymore. And we need to go ahead and just accept that Saquon didn't want to be here, and we didn't want Saquon here. John Mara did, but not Joe Shane. Not Joe Shane. And that's the voice that matters right now. And that's the voice that should matter. And I'm glad that's the voice that matters. But again, watch the show that Rob did yesterday. It was a Rob show. So if you missed it, it was a pure Rob show. I wasn't there to keep talking over him.
All the Roberto you could get.
It was all the Rob all the time. John says Roberto was on the stripper pole.
Last night? That was after the show.
Wait, hold on. I thought that was Friday night you did that.
Oh, listen, we're talking about going live on X again, so I was trying to pay some bills.
Not that kind of X. That's triple X.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys again Monday night there. Enjoy the weekend. Have a happy, safe one there. Appreciate you guys again for listening in. And as always, Giant fans,
Go Giants!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.